I'm sure you agree that it can be quite tough when certain things happen in your life and you don't even or can't even understand why they happen. But what if I told you that, well, there was a spread for that? That using that spread, we could get valuable insight into the reasons behind the incident and perhaps maybe get some understanding or even some closure for us. So in this video, I'm going to show you the why spread, which I've created specifically to address such questions and scenarios, of course, via an example or two, if time permits. Hey guys, this is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com, my site where I blog about all the things that I have learned from and about the tarot cards. I also review tarot decks and books and make videos via this YouTube channel. I am a professional tarot card reader and I teach and mentor students who are interested in learning tarot. I have also written a book about how you can enhance your readings using storytelling techniques. You can find this book on Amazon across the world. Now, I've included these and other links in the video description, so be sure to check that out. And for more awesome tarot content, just hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. All right. So while I'm mixing the cards, I'm gonna put up the image of the spread on the screen so you guys can see what the spread is gonna be about, how it looks like and so forth. But the thing is that I tried laying down this spread, just like a practice something, just few cards to see how it fit on screen, and it was terrible. So that's why, just have a look at how the spread is designed to look like a question mark, right? Because why? And the spread uses 6 cards. Okay, the sky cards, as you know, which are there on the top left, I guess, of the screen, are cards from the bottom and top of the deck. I'll show you when I do the example what I mean by those sky cards. They are the environment in which situations are happening, and the big picture going on. And then of course we have the actual spread, which has 6 positions. The first being the beginning, which talks about how it all started. Okay. The next one is the cause, which, what started it. The third position is the consequences, which basically talks about what happened next. So essentially how it started, and then what was the root cause of it, why they behaved the way they behaved, or why the situation happened the way it happened. The consequences will tell you what happened right after, or as a result of this whole thing, and then the awareness, right? Because how they felt about it. We always have, this question, okay, they behaved this way, or they did this thing to us. How did they feel about it when they did it, or when they how did they feel when they were doing it, right? That's the awareness. Position 5 is the descent, is basically how they dealt with it, right? So upon becoming aware of what they did, or how did they come to terms with it, with themselves? How did they live with it? How do they find a way to live with themselves after they did what they did? And then finally, number 6 is the end, how it ended, right? So finally, what happened? What was the final kind of point at which it all fell apart, or whatever the situation was, how it happened, fell in your life. So again, this spread can be interpreted in several different ways depending on several different situations, right? Because when you apply it to, say, relationship situations, and by relationship, I'm not always only talking about romantic. It can be all kinds of relationship, friendships even. Yes, you can apply it. But then you have to see the context of the spread positions in a different light. You can even apply it to, say, a career related situation, and so the context will be very different. Now the example question that I'm taking here, again, it's going to be super different. I know you'd probably expect me to do a relationship one, but I find doing other ones are also fun and challenging in terms of learning. So let's start off. Maybe I'm thinking I'm going to be doing two, maybe another example here. Maybe I'll take up the relationship question there. But first, I want to do something different. Let's start with a work question. In a hypothetical situation here, this is a work-related question. Let's say there is a team of people and working in an organization, and then of course every team has a team leader, right? It's a very straightforward structure that exists in most organizations. And let's say there's always these quarterly reviews and whatnot happening and this is actually a similar questions like these keep coming to me. So that's why that has inspired me. So let's say in a quarterly review, your team leader gives you a really bad review for something which you don't think you deserve. So you're like, why did he do that? Right? This is a perfect situation for asking this question. Why did my team lead or boss or whatever give me such a maybe not so bad, but such a low rating, say, or a low review in the quarterly review? Okay, so let's say if our querent or client can find the answers in this spread. So I'm just counting on the universe to send me the right cards. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be pulling the cards. First, the beginning. The second is the cause. Third, the consequence. Fourth, the awareness. Fifth, the descent. And sixth is finally the ending. Now see what happens. I'm picking up all the cards that are remaining. Okay, this is a very common question that people often email me. They ask me, what are these sky cards? So after I've pulled the cards from the spread, for the spread rather, the remaining cards, I pick them up. Then I turn them over and see, this is the card at the bottom of the deck. Oh, the full reverse, very nice. And then because this is the major arcana, or if this was a regular minor arcana also, that was just the one card I would pull. And then I turn it around and I look at what card is up here. And see, oh good, see, my cards always come up for teaching situations. And now we get a court card. When I'm looking at the environment and I get a court card, I always then pull the next one. Okay. Now if this one is also a court card, I will go again and pull the next one. But okay, we have the 10 of Pentacles here. So that's pretty much it. So had this one also, like the one in the bottom, instead of the Fool had been the court card, then I would pull the one, look at the one next after it. You get that? And we keep going till we get, this is only in the case of a court card. That's my rule. So anyway, now these are the situation cards. We have the Fool or the Sky cards, and then the King of Pentacles. Now you can lay it whichever way feels natural to you. I like to keep it this way. All right, just look at the direction, right? So here essentially is the overall situation or the big picture situation. See, which maybe is all about, now because this spread is all about what went on in the mind of the team lead or the boss while giving him the particularly bad review or low review. But this situation is going to talk about your client. It's going to say, hey, King of Pentacles reversed and 10 of Pentacles and the Fool reversed. So you see that he probably, because usually these quarterly reviews lead to some kind of a bonus payment in the salary or an increase in the salary. And he really was, looking forward to getting a pay hike of some kind because he wanted to create a situation in his family, or maybe he needed the money for whatever reason, or he wanted to obviously create more financial security for his family. And one of the things here is the Fool reverse. This basically tells me that one of the things on his mind is that if this whole approach, or if this guy is not going to be treating him right, maybe it's time to start looking for a new job, a new beginning, another well considered, because this fool is reversed. So he's not going to just quit on a whim. Had this fool been upright, maybe he's going to be pissed about this low rating and quit on a whim. But here he's reversed. So he's going to stop, think, maybe find another job, and then quit this old job. So that is also one of the things he's considering, that if this trend is going to keep continuing, I might as well look for another job. But here, if we look at the why, then maybe he gets an insight on why this is happening, and maybe he can fix it. So it gives him an option to look at things, figure it out or get some closure, whatever it is, right? So since we pulled out the cards one by one, I'm going to lay it out. I know it's not going to look pretty like how it was in the spread drawing because, lack of space, but just bear with me with this. So we have the beginning, Two of Wands reversed. So here we go. This is the beginning of the whole situation where his boss said, I'm going to have to give you a low review. So we're going to look at what started it for his boss. See, Two of Wands reversed. He figured that because Two of Wands, if you see upright, is all about looking at bigger, broader avenues in terms of your career, in terms of life itself, going to a better place, in terms, looking at, what else is out there. How do I, grow bigger, better? Two of Wands here reversed, it kind of pulls him back. He doesn't want, maybe on some level, he doesn't want this guy, our client, his boss doesn't really want him to find, feel stable enough to go forward in his career or to look at more options where he can say, oh, no, I might look for a promotion. He might want to grow in the company. He wants to stunt his growth for whatever reason. Evil bosses, huh? So the cause, why does he feel this way? Nine of Wands reverse. See the reverse card showing up. It's not a joke, right? Reverse cards, but the fact that they are reversed pull our attention to them. And that is the whole point here. This Nine of Wands reverse says that he is, the boss is feeling unguarded, or rather I would say here, I'm trying to figure out, he doesn't want to be caught unguarded. How about that? The boss feels that he needs to be careful, otherwise this guy's going to come take his job. He needs to be very guarded, otherwise our client might as well end up taking his job away from him. So we're talking about professional jealousy on some level here, or being careful about that. See how, again, it's all work and we got two wand cards already. Next one is consequence. So, that is the cause. He wanted to make sure that by giving him a low rating, it would deflate his confidence. It would, not want our client to go forward or ahead in the company, in the organization, in terms of promotions and stuff. And that protect his job. The boss would protect his job in that way. So what happened as a result of that? Four of Cups reversed. Emotionally, this guy felt more and more defeated, right? And see, he thought that he lost an opportunity. He thought our client. Our client thought that he had lost a lovely opportunity, and he felt very, very defeated. He felt very mistreated, and he just basically lost interest. Four of Cups, normally upright, is also basically talking about boredom and lack of interest, but still it indicates that there's still a dream there and he wants to chase it. But in the reverse, he felt very, very defeated and shattered, like, oh man, he just wanted to give up, and which is, kind of true, happens to people. So the awareness, now this is again back about the boss. How did he, feel about doing what he did to our guy? We have Six of Wands. See, again, a Wands card comes back. He felt pretty good. He felt he was doing, fine job of it as the boss. Like he was being really a smart boss. How, right? So you're like, damn, how can he live with it? Yeah, the next card is exactly how did they deal with it? How did they live with it? Oh, they found a way. He mentally, see how the six comes up with the swords. He figured out a way to convince himself, and he moved past it. He's like, yeah, this is what I needed to do in order to survive. This is what I needed to do in order to hold on to my position as boss in the team. Otherwise, this guy was so good, he would have just, surpassed me in every level, and there you have it. So he found a way to deal with it. So how did it end? Sun reversed. See, it ended with him curbing this guy's enthusiasm, our client's enthusiasm. It ended with him totally giving him a downer. But at the same time, see, the sun is the sun, even if reversed. It does end up with our client gaining some clarity into what's going on, the big picture, because see, suddenly we have a major arcana showing up here, which is, in terms of whether he wants a new job or something. Maybe it's time to explore that opportunity here. Maybe it's time, because this guy's never going to let you go ahead because he is super insecure and there is no way to tackle that, right? So maybe it's time to, get that clarity, even though it is from this weird, twisted situation, the clarity that the sun represents, and, turn your horse around in the other direction and start going there, right? Wow, this is pretty intense. Did this, does this spread make sense to you now? Okay, so this was one example. I'm gonna, shuffle the cards, and we're gonna do another example. This time for a relationship situation. Hey, why not? Okay, so here we are. After the previous spread, which was to do with a very specific work situation. Now let's look at a relationship question. Now again, I'm not going to go down the whole romantic relationship route because my goodness, no. I'm going to look at, say, a relationship between two friends, and they had an argument. I'm not saying they parted ways. I'm saying they had an argument and they decided to take a little bit of a break. And so I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of what happened there. Okay. All right. So the why spread. Why did they argue? Let's say, one of those parties or friends comes to you for reading, and you're like, why did the other friend argue with me? Or why did this whole argument actually happen? Right? That's a great question for our why spread. Why did it happen? Okay, so. And for the sake of our example, let's say there are two girls. Let's just make it easier. The beginning. Then the cause. What started it? Then what happened next? The consequence. Then how they felt about it. Since friend 1 has come to us, this is how friend 2 felt about it, right? So how friend 2 also dealt with the whole thing in her head. And finally, how the whole thing came to pass, how it ended. There you go. Now, picking up all the cards to pull out the environment cards or the sky cards. Here we have the bottom of the deck is your magician. So magician is all about, leadership, finding the path. See, this upright magician is all about finding control, taking charge, right? But in the reverse, this magician is all about ego. And then from here, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So again, it is a work in progress, right? Again, Eight of Pentacles is all about, working at it, working towards creating perfection, but not quite getting there. Maybe because ego comes in the way. And it could be that both parties are equally responsible here, not just that one person. Maybe both want to be the leader of the whole, the duo. Both want to be the one taking charge or, showing the way or whatever. They haven't quite figured out how to, be equals in that relationship and get there. But let's see now. The first one is the beginning, how this whole, this whole situation started. I see, sun reversed, right? They both wanted to kind of try something different, have the adventure, do something zany, crazy, go, basically explore different arenas in their whole in lives. They would want it to be a little bit more adventurous whenever they hung out. But something or the other always held them back. Maybe one person held the other back, or the other situation, another person held them back. So one or the other each time holds them back from going completely, adventurous and doing something adventurous whenever they hang out. That's how I'm reading it. How would you read it, though? The next one is the cause, the inciting incident, as we storytellers like to call it, the Knight of Wands, right? So here comes the Knight of Wands, who basically is someone who just loses his attention, and or gets distracted every other day. And in the reverse, it's just an extreme case of like, oh, look, this shiny new thing, oh, look, that shiny new thing. Like, before you can even explore option one, there's option two, there's option three. So I guess since we are now looking from the perspective of friend one and then friend two, I guess maybe friend two got fed up of this approach of friend one, that our client, you frequently changed minds, and the other friend just did not appreciate this fact, and they're like, come on, make up your mind already. So the consequences, King of Swords reverse, oh my god, the arguments, right? They try to logically sound it out, they try to logically sort it out, but of course the logic was all over the place, because emotions maybe came into the way, or the feelings and all of that came into the way, and it just basically, the argument just went all destructive. That's how I read it, destructive arguments, right? So the awareness, how did friend two feel about the way things happen? She was like, okay, this is chariot, see this, she saw it as a way forward. She saw it that, okay, at least we are airing our grievances, we're getting our feelings out into the open. She found out what friend one was really feeling, friend one found out what friend two was really feeling. She thought that this was actually a victory for them both, because they could finally move forward, that between these two differing perspectives that they shared about certain things, they could finally find a way or middle path through it. Maybe this argument was a great way to finally get their thoughts out into the open. And it was a victory for them emotionally, mentally, all of it, where they could actually, feel their way out of it in a way, certainly. So that was, that's what she felt about it. So how did she deal with it? Moon reverse. Oh, wow. Now, Moon is Moon is the card of figuring your way out through confused times, especially in the upright. The moon is, it's like you're finding a way. It's a disaster. It's like, oh my God, it's very difficult, but you find a way out of this confusion, especially emotionally. But in the reverse moon, it is difficult to find a way out of it because of the emotions, because of the fears, because of a lot of these things. So how she dealt with it is, although she felt that this was a great way to, get things out and move forward, she didn't really deal with it really well. Friend two tried to got even more emotional, or even because of maybe friend one, the situation got emotionally all unstable and confusing for the both of them. And so how it all ended was Nine of Pentacles reversed. I'm just going to put this card up here so it becomes easy to see in the video. So Nine of Pentacles reversed. So whatever, see, it's interesting, because this card is a very different energy here. See, Nine of Pentacles normally talks about finding financial security, or self, an independent woman kind of a thing, right? So it is a card talking about independence that is self-created. Reverse, though, Now, normally Pentacles is financial independence, but let's just go with that energy of independence. So, how it all ended is that they both tried very hard to get their independence from each other, but I don't think that they're going to be able to hack it. I don't think they are going to going to be finding a way to live without each other. They're going to come back together. That's the feeling I'm getting as I see this here, that they're going to figure it out. See, ultimately, this card also shows us the root cause along with this and this, right? That what they need to be is independently, confident with themselves first, and then with each other, so the ego issues will not show up, right? And then even if, and they can accept each other for what they are. So even if, let's say, friend 2 perceives friend 1 as someone who frequently changes her mind, she might say, okay, you know what, I mean, let's put 5 different options there on the table and we select one. Or I know this one's going to keep changing her mind. Or maybe she gets a more better, as friend 1 becomes more independent or in and of herself, she realizes that, okay, this, why I keep going from several different options is because, hey, I actually want to do this. Or she becomes maybe more clearer about what she wants. Who knows? But the point is, there's several ways of tackling this, but this 9 of Pentacles reverse basically tells me that both these ladies need to find a way to be confident and independent in and of themselves, right? So that they can figure out the way forward for them, and they will figure it out. Okay, so that was the relationship why spread that I pulled here for you guys. So I'm planning on doing another version of this spread, but with Lenormand cards. I mean, I'm thinking about it anyway. So tell me if it's something you would like to see. If you'd like to see how this Y spread is also, the information that we get from the tarot cards is enhanced by the Lenormand cards, and how that spread shows up. Right? Tell me if you would like to see that. And if you do, I will make it happen. And again, I hope you like this spread and the one I did before that. And would you have interpreted it this way, or maybe you would have interpreted it in a different way? I would love to hear your interpretations. Please put them in the comments of this video, because every reader has different perspectives. So I'm not saying that just because I read these cards in this way, that's it, that's how they're supposed to be read. No, not at all. You would have a different take on the way these cards are, connecting with each other, or you would have a different way that these cards speak to you individually, right? Or intuitively, for that matter, even. So, and that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly all right. That is your interpretation, and that is very specific, let's say, to your situation or to your particular client that you're dealing or reading that you're doing. Or you can even try this spread out at your end, for a certain situation that you went through, or a certain question that you have, like that, like, why did this happen, and see how it works for you. And if you want to share that spread, if it's a bit too personal, you want to email me and you want to get my opinion on it, I would love to obviously help out there. But if, let's say, the spread that I did in this video and you want to reinterpret it, I would welcome that. Just put it in the comments. I would love to hear from you, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where I post my card a day readings every day. You can also order a reading for yourself, or you can learn how to read tarot from me, of course. All of these links are in the description, so check that out. I will see you again in my next video. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. Bye now.